Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to learn about the Great Plains region for the Native Americans. First, we're going to learn about the climate in this region.
The Native Americans of the Great Plains. The Great Plains consist of vast grasslands, sweeping valleys, rolling hills, and freshwater streams. Few trees grow in the Great Plains, so there is little shelter from the scorching sun. The plains can be bitterly cold in the winter and very hot in the summer.
Well, they had a temperate climate, which meant that they had 4 distinct seasons. It was cool in the winter, and it was very hot in the summer. They had 25 to 75 centimeters of precipitation annually.
The Great Plains people were nomadic, meaning they moved from place to place. They were constantly moving because the buffalo herds were constantly moving, and they depended on the buffalo to survive. Since the Plains people moved around so much, their homes had to be easy to take down, carry around, and easy to build as well. So families lived in teepees. Teepees were made of buffalo hides and poles, very light materials. They were easily taken apart, carried, and then set up again. Teepees were made by tying long branches together and then stretching buffalo hides across them. Teepees are like large tents. Teepee doors were round, and they always faced east toward the rising sun. People lived comfortably inside teepees. The buffalo skins were durable against the harsh wind and weather of the prairie. The skins kept teepees warm during the winter and cool during the summer. The outside of a teepee was decorated with paintings. Each painting was unique and showed the personalities of the family inside. In the middle of every teepee was a fire pit surrounded by stones. The fire was used to keep the teepee warm and was used for cooking. There was a hole at the top point of the teepee. The hole allowed smoke from the fire to escape. One family called each teepee home. They slept on robes made of furry buffalo hides. There was also room to store baskets, extra clothes, and dried food. Members of the same clan lived in a village. Villages were small. This way, it was easier to pack up and move everyone and their belongings across the Great Plains.
You just learned about Native Americans in the plains, their shelter, and how they stayed safe and where they lived. Now, we're going to learn about what types of food they ate.
Food, shelter, and clothing. Men would leave their villages and go on mass buffalo hunts. They only killed what they needed and didn't waste any part of the buffalo. Men used bow and arrows to hunt buffalo and other animals, like antelope, deer, elk, and moose. They also caught prairie dogs and rabbits in traps. Their meat was used for food. They roasted fresh meat on a stick over a fire, or boiled it with vegetables to make stew. Some meat was cut into strips and dried with smoke from a fire. Great Plains tribes mostly ate meat. However, women would go into the fields and pick herbs and other plants that grew wild on the prairie. These were used as food too. Fresh food wasn't always plentiful. Winter weather on the plains could be harsh and cold, and sometimes food was scarce. So the nations preserved meat and plants by drying them. Dried food would last for months and helped many Native Americans survive. Buffalo meat was used for food, but the hides of the buffalo